This time we're going to do a walk around of the first generation 4Runner. This is a 1989 model. I like to say it's a 1988 and a half. Some of the parts are from the 88 and some of them are from the 89. This was manufactured in September of 88. So this model has the W56 5-speed manual transmission. Also has the 22RE 4-cylinder motor, so a 2.4 liter. Let's open the hood and show you what's underneath. Like I said, it has the 22RE 4-cylinder motor on there. These are known for being slow, but also extremely reliable. I have had zero problems with this motor, but I've also kept up with the maintenance that needs to be done before we have an issue. So the truck is almost entirely stock, almost entirely OEM parts. There are a few changes though, so let me show you what those are. The biggest change that I've made, probably as far as the drivability goes, is the radiator. This is still an original equipment spec, but this is manufactured by CSF. It's an all brass radiator, and it is the triple core. So this made a huge improvement on the temperatures that the coolant is running. I've been very, very happy with this radiator. I've had it in for, I think, about 2 years at this point. Of course, when I did that, I did all new hoses as well to go along with it. Did need to replace this rubber intake hose right here as well. And the other biggest change that we've made is the brake booster and the brake master cylinder. So these actually came out of the T100 truck, is what these are spec'd for. And so this was just an upgraded, more firm pedal and then more braking power there. As far as the calipers and the shoes on the rear, did not change those yet. May do that down the line. Would have different wheels maybe, but this is the only thing within the brake system that we've changed. The clutch master cylinder has also been changed. That's the OEM, just the OEM clutch master cylinder. If you can see over here, we've got a little antenna, and I'll show you what that's for here in a minute, but that lives underneath the hood the majority of the time. Outside of that, everything else is 100% stock under here, still retaining the old R12 AC system, and it does still work. I've had that worked on a couple of times to make sure that it is working. So it blows ice cold, but if you have driven one of these trucks, you know that it doesn't blow that much air. So ice cold, soft breeze when we're running full speed down the highway. One of the things that is not stock about this truck is the headlights. The old sealed beams I've replaced a couple of times, but upgraded to these LED headlights. These aren't just a super bright LED bulb that just scatters light everywhere. What I actually like about these is that it has the focused beam through that little fisheye looking deal there. It has a nice cutoff line rather than just throwing a bunch of light into the opposing traffic. So these are actually really nice, and it has a pretty wide spray too. You can see the different LED lenses there that throw light quite a far ways out. So it's almost like having floods in addition to low and high beams as well. The other thing is the bumper. I have painted that to match as close as I could the factory. It's probably a little bit darker than it was at the factory. This is pretty well straight black. I just used some rattle can black paint, wheel paint for that bumper. So the other thing that you'll notice is the front and rear wheels, all four wheels, went through and painted each of those. These are the original factory wheels. They were the chrome. However, they continue to rust around that inner curve there. So I got tired of cleaning those up and sealing them, and then it's still getting rust down in there. And so I've just totally sealed them up with the black wheel paint. I actually really like how they turned out. It was a lot of work for spray paint, but I actually really like the way they came out. Also painted the side view mirrors as well, those housings, and some other items that we'll see in a little bit. All right, to take a peek at the interior now, so let's move into that. The rear is almost all factory. So we've got the original paneling in the back here with the original doors. That plastic is extremely brittle, so on overlanding trips, things of that nature, a lot of times I'll remove the plastic trim. I still have the plastic trim that goes around from the removable hardtop. I still have that out because it's extremely fragile, so it just stays out while in use now. I have put these just scrap carpet squares. I just kind of cut them to fit the payload area of the back here, and then obviously have the rear seats folded up right now. But you can see there it's got the roll bar in there, of course, from the factory, but everything else back here is 100% factory. So let's talk about the front of the interior now. So as you come in, you can take a look and see the original seats and the original upholstery on the seats remain. Also original side paneling. I have had to replace the door handle bezels here. They're not quite color matched. Just got those off of a website, so they're not quite color matched. What is original is all of the dash and everything there. Everything still looks pretty good. This crack right up here on the dash just came up in a super cold spell that we had a couple of years ago. It was really sad when that happened, but other than that, the dash is in great shape. There is an aftermarket radio. My brother actually is the previous owner of this truck, and my brother had this radio installed whenever he was the owner. This actually does not work currently, so I either need to replace it or just continue living without a stereo. The other addition is this Midland Communications radio. So this is just the MXT275, which I've been perfectly happy with. So that's what the antenna that lives under the hood is for, and I leave it under the hood because I just don't like all the extra stuff around on the outside. I like it to look like it's 100% factory as much as possible. So that lives under the hood, and then when in use, just pop that antenna out. It's magnetic at the base, and just put it on the outside. Did have the shifter cover here. I had a new cover made a few years ago. My wife's grandmother actually sewed that up, and we just kind of painted that at the time the closest color that I could find. So that might need to be updated in the future to better match the darker colors, but that looks pretty good as of right now. I do have the original caps for both the transmission and the transfer case, so I love having that. I also want to point out that one of the biggest changes that we've made inside the vehicle is just the cover for the air conditioner and heater controls. And you know, after 30 years, this was just completely faded and starting to crack and peel. It looked pretty nasty, and replacing that has made all the difference in the world. It looks brand new. It looks absolutely great. So we've got that in here. Obviously you can see just a cell phone mount on top of the dash, because don't have anything to pull up navigation or any of those things during a trip. So other than that, I think everything else in here is pretty well factory, except for the dome light. I had to replace that a few years ago because it was broken, but it's a different color, but other than that, it's the same part number. Now outside the vehicle, I did have to have the windshield replaced a couple of years ago as well. I was sad to do that because it was the original factory windshield, and this has the that coloration at the top. I don't know exactly what that's called, a visor type of a deal. I cannot stand that, but it is what it is. We got a new windshield, so I can't complain. Now, as far as other modifications go, let's go down and look under the wheel well. Hopefully you can see a little bit, but we've got replacement ARB torsion bars. After 30 years, the originals were just worn out, so we've replaced those. Also, you might be able to see here the top of the Bilstein shocks. So we have Bilstein shocks all the way around as well. And then of course, I've had to replace all the ball joints and bushings and all of those things all around. All of those are new with Toyota OEM parts as well. One of the biggest improvements that I've made for drivability, in addition to the radiator, the Falcon Wild Peak all-terrain tires, these have been absolutely outstanding. They have very much surprised me in what they are able to handle. These are just 30-inch tires. In hindsight, maybe I would have gone up to a 31, but I went with the 30-inch. It's a little bit bigger than what was on there previously. I know an option that Toyota had at the time from the factory was a 31-inch package. I went with a 30 because it's so underpowered as it is, and I didn't want to overwork the engine and transmission any more than it already is. Back inside the truck, I want to show the slider windows. So it has rear and front sliding, and all still work. So let me just show you that right there. That's a very nice a nice feature to have that Toyota has in a lot of their classic vehicles. So that's been very nice to have. Great for the dogs to stick their heads out when we're going on rides there. All right, so I also want to show you how to fold up the seats. So I've got them down in the storage position to have as much payload area back here as possible. So let me just show you how quick and easy it is to fold these up. So you just pull that back until it clips into place. Throw this down until it locks into place. Same. So back here there is plenty of room for 4. It has enough room for 5 people. Has seat belts and everything for 5. Comfortably 4. The legroom is not great, but it does have better legroom than a lot of your modern vehicles do. So a pretty comfortable seat back here. It also has, of course, the headrest that you put in storage while you have the seat stored or stowed down. Has headrest that match as well. And again, this is all original upholstery to the vehicle as well. Everything looks really, really good for being as old as it is. Hope you've enjoyed this walk around on the 1989 Toyota 4Runner. I'll call it Old Yeller with this gold color there, but it's been an absolute joy to have, and it's a lot of fun to drive. So again, I hope you've enjoyed this. Check out some of our other videos, and we'll have more content, including the 4Runner, in the future.